In a KITE script, you have the ability to add a virtual profile, which is a table that lets you create rows of different data values, and then you can specify each one of those values to be used by one of the Keynote agents in your group. So the use case goes something like this. You have a transaction and you log into your site. Now if you're using 5 Keynote agents, just for example, if 2 of those agents used the same login credential at the same time, your system might not let one of them in, and the transaction would essentially fail. Now the solution here is using a virtual profile to assign 5 different logins to those 5 different agents. The way you do that is to create a virtual profile table in your script. First, record your script and use your regular login or the first login just to capture the entry of the username and password into these fields. Now you're going to add the virtual profile table. To do that, click on the name of your script, and in the properties down below, you'll see virtual profiles, and you're going to click this edit button to create a profile table. The virtual profiles editor comes up, and the first thing we do is describe the fields. So I'm going to have fields for username. I'm going to click add. I'm also going to add a column for password. Click add. Now you can see I've got username and password up top, and then I'm going to add 5 values. So I type 5 and click add, and we build our table. Now we need to plug in all the values. So I'll enter here the first of my 5 cities. I'm going to use Chicago. And for Chicago, I'm going to use keynote1@keynote.com. And in the password field, I'll just use my normal password. Then I'm going to copy and paste and do the next city. So Keynote 2 I'd use in password. I'm going to click cancel and open a script I've already built. Once you've gone through the process, you should see something like this. I've got my 5 different profiles and different passwords for each one. The one last thing you're going to want to do is to pick one of these to be used as the default. I'm just going to select the top row and click this button here, copy to default. That pushes that one up to my top row. That's the one that's going to be used by my local playback. Click OK. Now we can see I've got my table built in the background and I've got 5 profiles. The next step is to choose the profile value instead of the static value. So in my second step, I'm going to select my login value. And then in the properties, I'm going to change from static value to virtual profile data value. Once I do that, the second field will allow me to pick from my columns in my table. So I'm going to pick username. And then I'm going to do the same for my password. Select it, change from static value to virtual profile, and then select which column in the profile table. Now my step 2 will enter my username column in the field for email address and the value for my password column in the password field. So I'm going to save my script and go ahead and play that back. Now we'll see those values get populated. When you're done with the playback and you know your login works, then you'll upload this script to Keynote Service Center, and at that point you'll select which of those 5 values goes to which of the agents. Thank you for watching.